What's poppin', y'all? One of the least talked about things with this whole Cenat breakup, and not just Gigi's response, his ex-girlfriend, is how exactly this information got out there. Because it's really suspicious. I covered a lot of it in my previous video where I talked about the ex-girlfriend and broke down her video, specifically talking about the assistant and Cenat, because those are the main characters in this. The other, like, friends DMing her and stuff, it's kind of a it's a nothing burger, just to save you time on that. However, the initial tweet that really set everything off was a fake tweet from a random account that said, Akademiks reports that Gigi, Cenat's girlfriend, is rumored to have cheated with YoungBoy. And this spread everywhere, so much so that even after Akademiks said I had nothing to do with this, when it started blowing up, Gigi in her video has a clip where she says, oh, 6ix9ine, this person, Akademiks, and all these other people, and Akademiks said this, and then she says, wait, actually, no, let me take that back. I don't think Akademiks was the one that spread this around. And we got a little bit more information with regards to that from Akademiks' perspective, because he's someone that got looped into this, having nothing to do with it, but being close to YoungBoy and saying that YoungBoy was very, very unhappy. So I'm going to play you guys the first clip where Akademiks talks about how YoungBoy hit him up about this situation.
Cenat, brother, you know, I've tried to reach out to you. I don't know if you changed your number. Come on, man. Like, nobody hates you. Like, we with you. You know you my guy. Holler back at man. You know, when that rumor came out about YB, I reached out to you. I felt, I don't know if you changed your number, whatever. But I'm letting you know. YB tried to reach out to you. He tried to reach out to you to let you know he ain't never did nothing with your girl neither. I'll let you know he feel that wasn't receptive. Like, you know, he was trying to let you know, like, hey, whatever they saying online, that's not true. You know? Again, he's just not a nigga that want to, like, yeah, the internet's going to be like, yeah, he everybody bit. Nah, he ain't. That's not his character. He don't want to go a streamer's girlfriend just to say he did it. He ain't do it. He tried to reach out to you personally, my brother. He felt like that conversation was turned down. And you got to realize you got a fan base who's kind of feeling like he did something he didn't do. That's the same reason I reached out. I never said it. He never did it.
So this was the first time it was addressed, and then Akademiks would even go on to say that YoungBoy was really, really aggressive with how he was talking to Akademiks about the situation. So he clearly wasn't happy with Kai, which is understandable because this is causing him problems. And then Akademiks gives a little bit of a theory, a tease of a theory that he would go on to deeper later in his stream, which is the potential that some of this may have been planted. And I'm going to play you guys that first clip right now.
But why does the timing all coincide? It all coincides with a fake tweet that says, I'm the source. I'm 95% sure about what YoungBoy's telling me, but I'm 100% sure about myself. I never said nothing. So how does a fake tweet match a supposed now real timeline? If the fake tweet got nothing to do with the people who's basically claiming the timeline. I've played lottery and I do play blackjack, but I've never been this lucky. So what's going on here? Something stinks. Something stinks. So a fake tweet that involves me that clearly I'm not involved. But let's say YoungBoy still is. It comes out, Kai say he's single immediately after, like 2 days after, right? The woman comes out later to say, no, that's all fake. Then the assistant says, well, we have all these messages that actually validates what the tweet that I said is fake says. So who the fuck puts out, so how does the fake tweet page puts out actual information that happens to be true? The only part that ends up being false is that I said it. Who would know this? Why would they use me? Now we feel like we're into some like CIA massage. What's going on? This is now getting spooky. I think the easiest answer is the best answer. We're not going to go down to Candace Owens with this one. It's not that serious.
So listening to this, you start to think, well, is that the case? Because it is, there are random, like for example, there are certain pages that just post a piece of fake news every single day, just outright fake news. And it gets a bunch of likes, a bunch of retweets, a bunch of grok, at grok is this real replies. But with this DM exchange, it was quite odd because the account had DMs from Gigi, which is Kai Cenat's girlfriend. And Akademiks posts a screen capture of the alleged Finsta where this information came from. Because Gigi said that Kai Cenat sent her a copy and paste of the messages that were sent. The copy and paste of the messages that were sent was sent from a screenshot that Brianna, the assistant of Kai Cenat, said that she got and doesn't want to reveal her source. Akademiks said the source is this Finsta that we see, Girls in Millions. And this is supposedly YoungBoy's Finsta, which we don't know that to be the case. So then Akademiks would go on again, and in this next clip would say that, hey, he thinks that this might be Kai's team. So I'm going to play you guys this first short clip and then a clip from later in the stream as well, where he explains the theory of them planting this information.
I'm still thinking Kai's team planted it because let's say it's a fake page, or let's say it is YoungBoy. How does a tweet match the info? And the only part they got wrong is me being involved. How? And I think there's mad sides to be played in this, and I think everybody's a little bit slimy in this. Reason why I think so, I think money corrupts. And I don't think nobody innocent in this. I think Kai Cenat's team started realizing this girlfriend was not good for him. They was trying to tell him this bitch is bad. She's not good for the program they had going on, the vision they had going into these couple of years. And he's in love. He wouldn't listen. They showed him, yo, she's still talking to her male friends. The male friend recorded it. She wouldn't listen. Yo, check this out. He wouldn't listen. And I think they came up with this YoungBoy story to make him leave her. Now, here's the thing. He probably should have left her before, because if you think she's going, she probably already went. Maybe just not for the person you think she did for. We in a different age with these women. Kai, I don't care if you were $5 billion. You date a young 22-year-old chick who grew up on the shade room and shit like that, they're into getting their lick back. They're not going to let you cheat for the free ski. Oh, you think because you made like $5 billion, you could go fuck like some big booty bitch and she walk in and catch you at 5 a.m.? Yeah, she going to start messaging this. She going to make your stomach hurt. He going to start doing all these type of turns and correlate. Like, you don't even know what's going on. Like damn, yeah, that's what happened when your girl start doing what she doing. Women know how to get at you. Yeah, this is how these women are moving, bro. So in reality, Kai got to take some blame. You f***ing off on her. But you Kai, you supposed to. Here's the thing. You dating a girl that's indoctrinated by this culture. She not going to just take it and smile and just talk to her mama about it. That's what used to happen back in the day.
Now, what do I think about all this? I think this is quite convenient. I just don't believe that a random account is going to tweet out that Akademiks and YoungBoy were, and get it right. That's the thing. They got it right. But they had to use Akademiks to try and give it some sort of credibility, because whatever you guys want to say about Akademiks, the guy does not really put out wrong information. Like, he had the information with the Tory Lanez and Meg case. The only time you could say that Akademiks put out objectively wrong information was in a scenario with Drake and this guy that was accusing Stefan Diggs of some stuff, and also was close with Gervonta Davis's team, that he was part of that camp. That was the one time that Akademiks was wrong, and he said that he was wrong because Drake lied to him. So Drake lied to him, and then it came out that that guy was speaking facts, and Akademiks was like, hey, listen, man, Drake told me this, so I was just following him. But other than that, he's been quite accurate. So I think that my thoughts are that Kai Cenat's team was like, okay, we need to drum this up to get Kai to, I don't know, like leave the chick or something, for it to finally cut the thread. Because I'm guessing that there was Because even Gigi says breakups had happened, but they had gotten back together. So perhaps Kai Cenat's team thought, okay, we need to end this once and for all. So if we tell this page, hey, here's DMs between, and it says Kentrell on it. So you give the DMs to the page and you tell them to put, oh, Akademiks sent this or something like that. Because if you just say, oh, these are DMs, it's easy. The natural reaction of most people, even most people just scrolling, like, man, this is fake, this is fraud. But if you say, oh, Akademiks rumors that YoungBoy this and that, now the tweet's going to start getting motion. And once it starts getting motion, other people are going to start posting it. And now it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, up to the point where Akademiks had to come out and say, yo, I did not say that. And as far as I know, YoungBoy didn't mess with her. But at that point, Kai Cenat probably already saw it, and it confirmed the suspicions that he already had from his own team. And then the breakup happens, and conveniently, once this breakup actually happens, when he says, oh, he's single, the whole fashion rollout starts happening with him walking around with the journal, him being followed around by his own paparazzi. And you got to take Kai, and I do believe that I am 99.9% sure. I would love to say 100% because that's how I feel in my gut, that Kai Cenat's team for sure collaborated with this page on Twitter to get this moving, because they wanted this relationship to end, because they felt like it wasn't good for Kai. Maybe they felt like, hey, this chick is predatory and Kai's like head over heels for her and doesn't know what to do. And they just feel like she's going to sabotage the ship. So they said, hey, she's going to have to walk the plank. We're going to have to throw her overboard. It is what it is. Get her out the way. But is Kai Cenat involved with this? And that's where I don't know. Because Kai Cenat wasn't answering YoungBoy or Akademiks. And this is where I would say it's grimy. Because Kai Cenat's rollout of this fashion thing is brilliant. Like, oh yeah, he's so single, this and that. And then now he has all of these posts. This guy knows how to engineer a rollout. Even though he doesn't make albums or anything like that. You guys got to think he's done Mafiathon. He's done Streamer University. He's done a lot of big things and rolled them out in big ways. Not only that, he has successfully rolled out and blown up, 3-4 different streamers, a Brazilian streamer. Keep in mind, these people, their native language isn't even English, and he blew them up to an English market. So he had Ray, he had the Brazilian guy Tota, and he also had, who else? Rakai, he's American, sure. But he brought all these guys and successfully blew them up to where they've got their own motion right now. So for Kai Cenat to roll something like this out, even a breakup, it would make sense. But we need to hear from him, because if he was involved in this rollout and he threw YoungBoy and Akademiks under the bus, because this is throwing them under the bus. You're harming Akademiks' credibility and you're also harming YoungBoy's credibility. But even though he probably thought it was YoungBoy, and to not respond to them after, that's what makes me think, okay, I think Kai didn't know about this, is the fact that he probably saw it on his feed and was like, damn, this is out there now. Because he saw Kentrell in those DMs that were sent to him, and he probably thought that was YoungBoy. And I think he just started his rollout after that. So I don't think that Kai Cenat was involved in this. I think it was people around Kai Cenat, people close to Kai Cenat that came together in cahoots. But I do think it was grimy that they threw out, because I don't think they have any loyalty to Akademiks, Kai Cenat's team, or the people that are around him. And Akademiks cleared his name. It's not like everybody believes that this is true. Now, some people still do believe that the YoungBoy thing is true, but YoungBoy has tried to put it out there, and YoungBoy's not going to come out and defend himself. That's the different part about it. Akademiks, he talks for a living, so he's going to say, man, that wasn't me. With YoungBoy, he has to go through all these back channels. So I think that Kai Cenat for sure owes YoungBoy a talk. And why I think he didn't reply is I think Kai Cenat was really, really heartbroken about that whole situation becoming public, maybe due to his team. Now, his team should for sure be, whoever was involved in this, they should certainly be scared, because if Kai Cenat finds out who, I'm willing to believe that he's like, yo, you guys are meddling in my life. Even though this is true, even though this breakup needed to happen, you guys manipulating a situation like this out in the public associated with my brand is not something I want to have. And I honestly think his eye should be on the assistant. Now, the assistant is great, but if the assistant's getting into the role where she's talking about, I know what's better for Kai then Kai knows what's good for him, and I'm willing to go to third parties to make sure the outcome that I believe for Kai Cenat that's better for him happens and manifests itself, I'm willing to say that's going too far. That's like you're trying to take the role of his mother or something like that. And even then, we've seen friction happen in those scenarios, as you can see with like a Romeo Beckham and his parents. But let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. I don't think that there's some coincidence that this page got the information correct and the only thing that was quote unquote wrong was Akademiks. But I don't think that the Akademiks part was wrong. It was factually incorrect. But I think it was intentional to leverage that in the text of the tweet for it to get more credibility and more traction a lot faster. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Does Kai Cenat owe YoungBoy not an apology, but does he at least, like, should he chop it up with him? I think so. I think he should be like, yo, I didn't mean for you to get involved in this. Some sort of, situation to patch things up, because he was at a show with YoungBoy. And I think YoungBoy said, like, yo, he messes with the guy. But yeah, let me know what y'all think. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. And I'm going to see y'all in the next one.